Friday, everybody. This is rare that we do a Friday office hour. Usually it's Tuesday and Thursday, but for those who have been following Draftbit a little bit over the last couple of days, you've noticed that we've had an outage with our platforms. So some of you guys might have experienced a little bit of slowness or timeouts or not being able to access the platform entirely. So we've been all hands on deck over the last few days, and everybody's been working really hard to fix it. It is fixed as of right now, as far as we know. If you do experience any other issues, let us know. But we think we've addressed everything. We actually think we've improved a lot of stuff in the process, so it might feel a little faster, which would be a great silver lining in the whole for the whole week. But that's why we are doing an office hour on Friday and not Thursday. All right, with that said, hello to Steve and Carl, our usual folks here during this office hour. We have a few more. Let's see, what else is new? Not a ton. We might just go writing the questions. So if you're new here, there's ask a question button right underneath somewhere else. So click on that. You can ask a question there. There's a chat on the right side. You can tell us where you're joining us from and what's the weather where you like. Just say hi. And then once we're done with the question that are being asked live, we typically go to our community.draftbit.com website, where we answer all the questions in the Ask for Help section. And so at any given time, if you missed this office hour and you have a question about Draftbit, you can always go to a community website and ask your question there, and we'll address it during the next office hour. All right, so with that said, let me get started. I'm George, by the way. Did I introduce myself? I'm George. I'm the head of product at Draftbit, and I try to answer your questions. So, all right, first question. I'm going to read it out loud. What's the best way to check load time in the app? For example, the images in a feed load slowly on my phone, but not in Builder or WebView. How do you see what's going on? So I have two ways to figure that out. What I typically do, I'm going to go to Draftbit and start sharing my screen. I'm still in a limited setup here, so give me 1 sec. I'm going to organize myself a little bit. I'm going to share the screen, share a window, share the Draftbit dashboard. Now you should be able to see it. Okay, so I'm going to create a brand new office hour app for today. Today is March 4th. Ooh. Oh no, that's not Pi Day. Pi Day is March 14th, my bad. I thought for a sec that I missed Pi Day. Okay. So I'm creating an app, start building. And so Carl's question is about, let's say you have an image and it takes a very long time to load. I'm going to just use a placeholder image here. There you go. So this is oh, 1 sec. Here we go. This is your placeholder image. I'm going to change it here. Okay, now that's my placeholder image. I can make it as big as I want, so I can do 500. It's still limited to the size I've put here, but like the image is going to get bigger and bigger, so it might get bigger and bigger to load. So what I typically do, so going back to the question, is if you're a little familiar with your browser developer tools, you can right-click and select like inspect, or go to your preference, go to your I apologize for the cries behind me, but so you can go to, I forgot exactly what it is, like view developer tools, and you'll get access to that console. And in that console, you can go ahead and look at the network tab, which I'm going to clean up, and we can just preview the app. and you'll essentially see everything as being loaded and how long it takes. So see, that's typically, I'm going to make that bigger, I'm going to make Draftbit very small, but that's among everything else, including a bunch of stuff that you don't have to worry about, like the highlight, which is like an internal tool, but like among everything else, you get that image that we loaded, and that's what it looks like, and that's how it was requested. And you can see, where do I see? Yeah, so you can see kind of the size and how long it took. So it took 180 milliseconds to load, and this is what it looks like in kind of the waterfall of things being loaded. So, in that case, it's loading very fast. There's no real concern here. But if you see an example where like one of those bars will be like very long, that could be an issue. It could be that your image is too big. That could be your network is not working well enough. So all of those reasons. So that's one way when I have performance issue that I try to go and have a look at it. The other way, which I've honestly never done, so I'm not very qualified to talk about it, is like once you have your app, you can run a simulator. And my understanding is that you've got another set of tools in your simulator to figure out the performance of your app. I haven't done that a ton, so I would not know how to help you there. But if you're curious, you should definitely take a look at those and see if that can be helpful to you. Let me reread the question to make sure I've addressed it. What's the best way to check load time in the app? Yeah, so the load time is going to be what is loaded in that developer tool. Oh, what did the comment say? The comment said related. Is there a way to set the upload image size? I know there is a slider, but sometime an image upload from a camera roll might be 1 megabyte or 8 megabyte. That's a good question. So is there a way to set the upload image size? So there's two ways I'm thinking of that. The way you phrase the question made me think that your ideal scenario will be if you can reduce the size. So the user send whatever picture they have in the camera roll, and you say, just send me, I can only accept like 1 megabyte. And then somehow, whether it's automatic or it's the user, like reducing the quality of the image, you get that big image into an acceptable size. We don't do that. To do that, you will want to there may be libraries that use this kind of on-the-fly kind of compression. I've never used any of those. The second thing I was going to say is maybe what you need to do, or what you could do, is look at the size and then tell the user, oh, this is too big. You need an image. That's, when you use a lot of services, that's typically what happens. You use Instagram and Twitter, you upload like a very large profile picture, and they'll tell you, no, that your profile picture needs to be under 2 megabyte or whatever it is. So that's something you can do. Though, if you wanted to do that, so I'm thinking of like when I upload picture with Xano, what happens if it's way too big? Does it just like breaks, or does it return an error? That's interesting. I'd be curious to try that. The problem with stopping upload is if too big would be if they're already taken a photo and don't want to resize on their phone. That's a huge pain. Yeah. So in Carl's, I mean, I'm gonna make a bunch of assumptions here, but in Carl's use case, the person takes a picture of their workout or something like that, and then they want to upload that, and so you don't really have an easy way for user to like compress that picture on their phone, which I understand. Would it really be too big? I feel like I've uploaded pictures that come from my phone. Maybe I have an old phone and picture is not that big. Let's see. How long do we have? All right, I'm going to try. It's a little bit of a big question, but I'm going to. Oops, sorry. I'm going to try to rush through that. See if we can do it. See if I can upload an image in Xano, and what happens when it's really big. Yeah. Also, that might be a good I should phrase it as like a pseudo tutorial for like how to upload an image on Xano, because it's definitely doable. I've done it. Many users have done it. I think Carlos has done it too. But there's a couple of subtlety that maybe other folks could benefit from. So, all right, let's get in there. Let's give that a try. Gonna connect to Xano. We're gonna do miscellaneous. All right. What database do we have? Do we have an image one? All right, we have this image database, create image. Okay, that might be good. Might be good enough. What API do we have? For sharing photo, upload image. Yeah. So, let me start from upload image. I'm going to do a new API group. Okay. That thing is Xano. It's a little, you need to understand is that it's a little bit of a process to upload an image. What I mean by that is when you create your endpoints, I'm going to, maybe we can do just, yeah, I'm going to post an image, okay? So the timestamp I done is going to be done automatically. Here you can see, so that's my endpoint to create an image. But I believe it's been a while, so I'm going to look at the doc. Right, so that's it. What you like here, it's the image from the database, and it's expecting an image, which if I'm not mistaken, if there's some Xenophile listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but the image here is going to essentially be an object that references the image that has already been saved in Xano. But what you need to do prior to that is another endpoint that is meant to upload content. So I'm going to upload an image, save that. And this is a file resource. And that's where I'm going to send actually the like base 44, like the link of the image. So let's try that. It's fine. Okay. And now I create the image from that. Okay. And then I return the image. So now if I do this, I can put my face in there. Okay, so that's it. I've uploaded the image, and now it's giving me that information, which now, if I'm not mistaken, I could go to the image here and use that for the image. Is that correct? I think that's correct. Okay, so it worked. So now I've created that image, and you see that what I passed is the object that defined the image, not the image itself, because you essentially have to break it down into those two steps: upload the image and then send it to the database. So now if I do look at my database, I probably have an image with my face in there. We have a bunch of people. There's a bunch of, try this one. Yeah, that's it. That's the one I just created March 4th. Okay, so that's how you do it. Now, just for fun, that was a pretty big image, right? How big was that? 5 megabytes. How big is an image that I take from my phone? I don't even know. I should know that. I work in tech. Let me try. I'm going to take an image. Doesn't really matter what it is. I'm going to upload it. Give me 1 sec, folks. I'm going to get all set up here. That thing. We'll get it. I just got it from my phone. So how big is it? Oh, it's super small. Can I take, how do I take a, you know what? I'll just fake it. Landscape. Can I just get a landscape image that's big enough? I want a big image photography. Should I go in Flickr? Can I get a very big image? There's a lot of details here. How big is that? Can I even download? Okay, view all size. Where is the view all size? Oh, view all size. I want the super large. All right. Save. Now, how big is this one? Still super small. I want. How do I get a gigantic image online? Actually, Carl, do you want to figure out a way to send me a type of image you will take to see what the problem is? One, oh, there you go. One from my phone is 2.7 megabytes. Well, so I did that, right? Yeah, okay. The picture of my face I sent was 5 megabytes, so that should work. Okay, I want to keep the problem with stop. Okay, one thing to consider too would be that if there is big different image set for camera versus system, not for everyone reading this using it. You can shrink image sent from by using. Interesting. So 5 megabytes seems like a reasonable estimate for me. Okay, so now, all right. So if it is reasonable, I'm going to stop what I was doing here. And now that we have those endpoints, let's see if I can make them work in Draftbit. So I'm going to create an endpoint that I'm going to call Xano. Man, Xano is just so good every time. Such a good service. Okay, so I'm going to upload it. Okay, so I'm going to use this one, and then first the upload. So upload image. It's going to be a post. It's going to be create. It's going to be images. Okay. Now this is upload image, and the body is going to be so the body is going to be something like content, something like that. And now what base 64 URL image can I just too big. All right, see, that's base 64 1 pixel black. I'm just gonna use yeah, exactly, transparent pixel thing. So all I need is a like a whatever it can be pink. That's fine. I'm gonna not make it opaque. Okay, and that's the URL that I need. Right here. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna test this. Let's see. I haven't done that in a while. Is that still okay? So I've been able to upload. So now, just for fun, if I were to copy that, so I can save that endpoint. And if I go back to Xano, I can now upload that image. If I just do this, what is going on? I might have one too many. No, I should not have one too many. Oh, yeah, I'm missing commas. No, not here. one here, and that should be good. Okay, now I'm going to run this. Okay, and I've uploaded the image. So now if I look at my database, I should have in image like a black or purple, whatever I picked, dot. Here it is. It's a 1 pixel. Okay, so that worked. So I was doing that endpoint worked to upload it. The thing that I need now is to kind of upload and then post the image. So it's still going to be a post. Okay, it's to create, it's images. And this one, going back to my API, it's going to be just /images, and the format is going to be like this. So it's the image, and then we've got that whole thing that's being returned. I mean, now for people who pay attention, I could also have I could have done that add record. Actually, I might do that because that might be easier. That add record from image, that I can do directly here, right? When you upload, it can be just two things. So add record to images, and create that is now, and the image is going to be image. Okay, so let's try that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna call this one fine. I'm gonna call this one image, just to be clear, and then I'm gonna return image. Okay, so now let's try that again one more time. When I upload something, I'm going to different picture of myself. Yes, I do keep picture of my face so I can sign up to different social or like different apps or application all the time. Okay, so now that should have just created the whole thing now. So not only upload it, but post it too. Here you go. It is. So that worked. So we just need that one endpoint now. I've kind of simplified the process a little bit. So that upload is all we need. So if I go back to Draftbit, all I need is this thing. And so the way you will do it is you would have a button. So I know, by the way, Carl, that I'm past answering your question. I'm just kind of having fun with it now. Upload, oh, well, take a photo. Okay. And so it's going to be open camera, type hello. I guess I didn't think of that, but you can reduce the quality here if you like. Let's try to do that, see what happened. Image, okay. And then once we have that, I'm going to do an API request to Xano, to the upload image. And for the content, I'm going to pass it the image. Okay. I think that should do it. Let me just remove that for now. So let's preview. I'm going to preview that on my phone right now, very quick. It's loading. I'm scanning the QR code. Okay, I can see the take a photo. It's asking for permission. I'm going to allow it. Okay, now I can see the camera. I'm going to take a fantastic picture of my face. Okay, I've never looked that good. I guess you can crop and do a bunch of modification here, so that's great. Cool. Okay, so did it work? Did it save in database? Because I didn't do any on success action. So yeah, it is. Look, that's my face. I just took a picture from Xano, from Draftbit to Xano, upload it. Now, one thing I kind of want to try is to see. So, how big was that image, by the way? I made it. Download. This one is 1.2 megabyte, and I reduced the quality a lot as in the setting. So yeah, that's essentially for everybody else who has not uploaded an image. That's how you do it. That's how you upload an image with Draftbit. And going back to the original question, I have only reducing the image. Is that if it's or the small image, it gets really blurry. So the issue is that. So Carl, tell me. So it's like you can upload the image. It gets to like 1 megabyte or something like that, but it takes a big time to load. I guess one thing I would consider. Oh yeah, one thing you should look into is. Jeez, scary. When you add the endpoint to get all the images, that's my get point to get all the images, right? How are they returned? Do I have? I'm wondering if there's a way in Xano to like reduce, because it's kind of good to upload the high quality one and that works. So I will not stop that process. Your issue is that you want to retrieve a lower quality one, right? So I'm wondering if like there is a way. It's a good question for Xano. Return smaller images. I'd say the way. Oh, well, actually, that's what you were saying earlier. By adding something like, yeah, that's what you were pointing at. Sorry, God, I was not paying attention. Tiny, small, medium, large. So if we do tiny box, yeah, can we just do that? Like in Draftbit, now I'm going to create another endpoint to get images. Okay, it's going to get many. I'm going to call that images, and it's going to go to images, and what it's going to do is return all the images. Okay, and now when I'm about to use that URL, so okay, I've got, now I need my fetch. Fetch is going to call that endpoint I just created, Xano get images, a list, show all those response, and finally an image component. And the image component, I want it to be data driven, and I'm going to use the, what did I say it was? It's image URL. Okay, image URL. Okay. So let's see, now I should return all the images. Okay. I see it working on my phone already. Okay, so it's all here. That's pretty fast, but let's try those things. The first is, let's do it tiny. Tiny sounds like it's small. Yeah. So I can just do this in theory. I need those. Oh, that's odd because they need those points. Okay. I'm still making them big here, so I want to remove that because I want them to be natural size. Let's see. Interesting. Oh, do I need to still, how big was tiny? 32. Width of 32. Okay, so that's my Tiny. Yeah, it's probably I probably want to do the main. Oh, so mean height. Why would he do that? This one I know. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that should be pretty fast. Have you tried that? I mean, I bet you've tried that because that's you who were the one recommending it. I'm using Xano reduce file size method already. Okay. Excel works well for image that goes most of the phone. Tiny is basically useless. Medium is good for small profile image. When I do web preview, everything loads super fast, but on the actual app, it's really slow. It takes a second to load. Let's give it a try, the preview. I know you're not using Tiny because it's too small, but I still want to see what it looks like. I'm trying to do that on my phone too. It loaded pretty fast on the iOS. It loaded really fast on my actual phone. Maybe you're saying it makes a difference when it's like the like test flight app. Yeah, so those are all the exploration I will do to play around with the size and the quality. If there is some like more latencies in your actual app, we will have to like investigate specifically the app. That's all I can kind of do for now from here. It's pretty cool though. I hadn't played much with the size and all, so I guess you might not have a great answer to your question, but it's been a good exploration for us. TestFab is a slow one. Expo is actually fast. So test flight is slow. Okay, well, I'll try. Can't guarantee because that's a kind of long process, but I'll try to export an app with that in test flight and see if I run into the same thing. Can't commit to a specific timeline again because that's a little bit more involved. But good to know. Oh, Expo is pretty slow too. Actually, if Expo is pretty slow, that's almost like a good news because it means it's not just something we can control. Like there got to be something else. So look at those. Try to look at that inspector network tab. See how long like everything takes. See, those are my images right here, and they're like pretty small because there's a tiny one, and they load pretty quickly. You know, those are like milliseconds. So I don't know. I can even what were the other one? Tiny, small. What if I do small? Okay, those are the small one. Oh yeah, those are taking a long time. Why is it taking so long? Oh, is it just the first time? Oh, now it's good. First, so those are more like 3K range, and now they load faster. Yeah, because they're on the disk, so they load in like millisecond now. It's pretty quick. What are the other one? Medium. Yeah, the first time it loads, it do take like 3 or 4 seconds, which is a little slow, admittedly. There's not much, we're not proxying any of that, so I assume that's the time it takes to load like this photo the first time around. So if you notice, I guess this one was pretty quick. If you notice, maybe there is something. Have you tried to reach out? I'm not saying that's on their end, but have you tried to reach out to the Xano folk to maybe they have some ideas on like why those taking a little bit longer? that seems pretty quick when I call the direct endpoint. So there might be something else going on. All right, well, I'll stop here because I don't want to do the whole on that, but that was pretty helpful. Yeah, you're right. No, the image loads pretty quickly here, so yeah, I'll tend to agree with you. Okay, let me look into that. I'll talk to some of our engineers, see if there's something else we can come up with. All right. So before, I know you have a couple more questions. There's one thing I mentioned to someone that I will address who is not here, but I said I will address it. So I want to touch on it quickly. And it is here we go. So I'm going to create a new screen. I want to show you all something. So let's say we have two screens. This is our full screen. Oops, sorry. Keep full. Okay. So we have two screens. I'm going to put just a title in the bar. So we know what it is. And maybe actually I'll put that in a view. You'll see why in a sec. I'm going to talk about the safe area view. So I want to illustrate a few things because let me get a Lipsum generator. Okay. I'm assuming you guys can see my screen. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So a bunch of text, a long text. This is my bar. I can make that uppercase. Okay. System bold. And the view, I'm going to make it red so we can see it well. Okay. Now, let's preview that first and foremost. Yeah, something like that. So, well, let me do one more thing first. I'm going to add both of those in the tab navigator, foo and bar, and I'm going to, the initial root is going to be bar because that's the thing we care about. It's only going to be two tabs. The first one is going to say foo, the second one is going to say bar, and we'll put like a random icon on each. Okay. So we have those now. Let me preview that so you can all understand. So by default, we have that header, which in that case is just the name of the navigator, bottom tab navigator. What's interesting in that default header, and you can see it, I should have picked a different color than red because it looks like it's red screening, which is not. But by default, that navigator is taking the right amount of space. It's not messing up with the little text or icon at the top. So it's using that kind of safe area view. So if you have the notch, it's not going over the notch. So it's properly placed. But what happened when you remove that header? So if I go back, let me make that a different color because the red is a little too scary. All right, this one. If now I go back to my navigator, I have the option to remove that header and go with like header mode, none. So there won't be any header mode. So when I preview that now, in web, you see it's gone. Everything is at the very top now. There is no more title. So that's kind of what you expect. The issue comes when you look at your actual device, so Android and iOS. And you'll see that now that we remove that header, things get messed up with the little icon at the top, right? So that's on the left, right of the screen. It's the Android, so you can see it's messing up with the time. And here you can see the iOS is clearly messing up. Like it's going under the notch, and you can see the arrow and all. So that's an issue. So the way you address that is you go back to your screen and you have the option to say, all right, I want this safe area view. And we have a little text here that says safe area view should only be enabled if you have explicitly removed or hidden the header from Stack Navigator within the navigation config, which is what we've done. So if you don't like the default header mode, and you remove it, then you have to be careful yourself to check that safe area view toggle. And when I do, all right, so I did it for that bar screen. Now when I preview again, it's the exact same thing. I just changed that toggle. But so in web, nothing else really changed. But when I'm looking on the devices, you'll see already on my device that everything has been moved down a little bit. You see that blue doesn't go all the way up. And so it's not messing up with the time or the icons or stuff like that. And so you can see on the screen now, like iOS, see, it looks better. Here's that safe area view. And you don't have to worry much about how much spacing you need. It'll take care of it. You know, if there's a notch, it'll take care of that. If there's no notch, it'll take care of that. Like, this is the whole value of safe area view, is that you don't have to be the one figuring out, depending on the device, how much spacing you should do. So do that if you don't want the header, the default header. So that's one thing. Now, Android is just a little, takes a little while to load, but you will get the same result. Actually, well, you can see it here. That's an Android phone. That's a Google Pixel phone. Now, one issue we've run into, I'm going to be very transparent with you, is when you start scrolling through that thing. So I'm going to make scrollable true, because before that, if you have a long text, you know, you can't really, you can't scroll through it. So you can use a scroll view if you wanted to as a component, which is here, scroll view, which works. Or you can just make the whole screen scrollable, which is kind of an easy way to do it. So now that I've done it, you can see I can scroll through my whole screen, and it's great. It goes back and forth. Let me try to preview that quickly. So here, you know, it goes back and forth. And then at the very bottom, I see my tab, and I can go from my foo, which is here, to my bar, and back up. So that's kind of exactly what you would expect. I do want to show you one little issue that we're addressing. If it will load. Okay, so this is iOS. So now I have that safe area view, so it's not messing up the top, which is great, which is what I want. I can scroll. It's a little odd to scroll when I demo it in the builder, because I have to like click and scroll to simulate a scroll, right? Because I can't really just scroll on my laptop. But the issue we're having here, so it's scrolling all the way to the bottom. It takes a little bit of time, but anyway, it is working. But you see, we now have, unfortunately, that extra space here, which is an issue, which is not great. We don't have the same thing in Android. While it's taking some time to load, I can show you on my phone. Like, everything is fine, and it stopped right at the bottom, and there is no extra space. Now I guess we lost the session. But anyway, so we have that little bit of a bug here that Caleb, one of our pro user, mentioned. We're looking into it. We're gonna fix it. I'm trying to. The reason I'm thinking is, like, is there a workaround you can use in the meantime? I don't know. And even if you were to find like a negative margin or something like that, like, you would probably mess it up on the Android side. So it's not going to be perfect. So yeah, just a reminder, we're going to look into that. That's an issue we're aware about. Very sorry, Caleb, about. It's taking us a few days to figure that out because we've been busy with the outage I mentioned at the beginning. But for everybody else, hopefully that was a little bit helpful to understand, like, safe area view and when to use it and when not to use it. And we've simplified that a little bit, so people who might have been confused in the past, hopefully get a better understanding of it. Now, you also, I should mention, you also have the option, if you don't want to turn it on, to do the padding yourself. You can do the padding yourself entirely. But if you do that, then you have, it's your you're on your own, right? You have to make sure it works for Android and other devices. You have to make sure you're not messing up with the text, and also it's a risk. It's a risk that you can take if you want to. Okay, that's the safe area view I want to talk about. Let me go back to the questions. I haven't changed, question from Carl. I haven't changed anything. I should, Carl, sorry, I'm not getting, oh, no. I marked this. I didn't mean to be a jerk, but I wanted to take another question from someone else too. So I'm going to come back to your question right after. I'm going to answer Mariana's question quick. Is it possible to use fetch item in the accordion? I've used custom code for sliders, which is awesome, and would like to do the same for accordion. Yeah. So first of all, we're actually improving accordion right now. Like one of our engineers is working on that and has a little bit of an upgrade for the accordion component coming up over the next couple of days. So things might change a little bit. Let me try for everybody else to show what accordion does and how to use it. I'm going to do that. So you have this accordion here. And like part of the confusion is like, what is that accordion group? So it's going to be, we're going to clarify all that. But essentially in the accordion, you can put kind of stuff in there and it'll collapse or expand as you need it to. So if I preview this, all right, the whole text is displayed, the whole text is hidden. That's what you would expect from an accordion. And you can have more than one. We debated, we're curious to hear your feedback on it too, but we don't do that behavior when you close one, when you open one or the other one close. We could, we haven't thought that was strictly the right thing to do. So if I now open this one, they just both open, the top one did not close. So you have configuration about all those things like the text, the color, and all of that. Now, Mariana's question is it possible to use fetch item in the accordion? So there's two ways I'm understanding that question. The first one, by the way, I'm going to do that because I removed the header. So I'm going to make it safe area view. I did that because I'm noticing on my phone that it was not on. So I'm just not deciding to turn it on. Okay, so what you can do is have a fetch on the outer level. So let's try that. I should still have a list of images here. So maybe for all the images, I want to show an accordion, and instead of a text, I want to show an image here. And so the image is going to be data enabled, and I'm going to use image URL. Okay, so now let me just re-preview that quick. Oh, where did you go, icons? Okay, so maybe it takes a while to load. I'm not sure the icons are not there. It's odd because they're here in draft mode. Anyway, maybe that's an issue. I'll look into that. But so now you've got your fetch, and inside your fetch, you have all your different images, right? Is that what you were trying to do, Mariana? Yeah, I guess the clap makes me feel like that's what you're trying to do. So yes, you can use an accordion inside a fetch and have as many accordion as you want dynamically, and put the dynamic content in each accordion. So hopefully that's helpful. I will look into what that web preview does not seem to. I mean, it seems to work, but for some reason the icon is not there. Oh, it might have been. We have an issue. I should mention that. Maybe it's related. Maybe it's not. But just in case it is, we have an issue with icon in preview mode for the folks like myself who are part of the deep linking pilot. So we have a deep linking pilot, which lets you open your app and link online, different subject. But if you're part of that pilot, it's very hard, but for some reason we have an issue with icons in that case. So that might be what's happening. But anyway, the functionality is working, as you can see. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay, so now that was a quick answer to Mariana. Let me know if I just simplified it too much, if there's something more that you wanted to know. And I'm going to go back to Carl's question because, okay, reopen topic. Okay. All right. I'm going to read. I haven't changed anything in the app for 3 to 5 days, but I'm now getting errors like default text field value not showing up. But I'm now getting errors like default text field value not showing up and a custom code component no longer working. Is that related to whatever the outage was? Link to one community post on variables not showing up. Let's see. Initial value not showing up. I have a text input field for username. Let me just, can everybody, not everybody can see that. George, what are you doing? Okay, can you now guys see that? Yeah. I have a text input field for username that has the initial value set, but the value isn't showing up. Or the field like name, time zone, bio are set up the same way and value is showing up. This was working fine before the recent update, so I'm not sure if it's related or what to that. Text input, set initial value handle. This one works. Okay, so which one does not work? Handle call. So it works for the display for the first name, but not for the display name. First name, display name. They both. So I guess the answer to your question, Carl, is that no, it should not be. Yeah, I think I understand the mission. It should not have been. It should not stop working because of the outage. It seems unrelated. What I will try to do is I will try to click that little refresh icon here. Make sure you're still getting the right schema, because maybe the schema changed somehow. Like maybe during one time you refreshed, it was not there, so now it's lost, and you just have to like refresh it to make sure it's taken into account in the schema. Try that. I'm not saying you did that. I'm just suggesting ideas. Because otherwise it seems pretty straightforward. So handle works here. Initial value. Try to like reset it. Like click the little X, put initial value, and then reset the initial value to handle. Yeah, those are what I will try to see. And then finally, so that's the second thing. So refresh the schema, try to reset the data source initial value. And the last thing is try to look at the screen code that is being generated and see if there's something odd in there, or share that with the community. If it's ours. Oh, Carl says it's working now, but I haven't done anything. So it might have been kind of leftovers of the outage. It might have been stuff did not refresh properly. So hopefully now it sounds like you're saying it's working. So good news. Okay, that was it for that. We're at time, so I guess it is perfect time. I didn't get a chance to look at other question. But we're gonna do our best to answer them asynchronously in the community.draftbit.com in the ask for help section if you have any questions. Okay. Thank you all. We will be back on Tuesday. It'll be Dave and Rahul, if I'm not mistaken. We'll be back on Tuesday. And again, on behalf of everybody at Draftbit, we're very sorry for the outage. We know it was really inconvenient. Like, not to say, like, it's one thing to be down for a minute and you just have to reload the website, the platform, and then it works. It's another to be intermittently down, like down every now and then for a couple of days, and we know that can affect your work and your schedule and timeline and all that. So we're deeply sorry. We took it very seriously. The whole engineering team has been working nonstop for the last since Monday, essentially. So we care about it. Reach out to us if there is anything else we can do to help, or if that really puts you in a spot and you need a little bit more support. We're gonna share what we learned. We're gonna share what happened publicly, meaning do a little like postmortem. We want to be transparent and help you out as much as we can, given what just happened. So, thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for thanks for building stuff with Draftbit, giving us your trust, and we'll now that it's hopefully fixed, we'll try to keep it like that, and we'll make sure it doesn't happen again. But in the meantime, yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate it. That's it for Office Hour. I will myself see you next Thursday. See you guys.